We're going to be putting the low cut of the Tascam to the test today. We are clearing out the house, getting ready for the road, for the travel. Filming outdoors here, beautiful. We'll see how long we can get with the golden hour here. But I do want to share my recent experience shooting on the semi-new film, Harman Phoenix 200. This is an interesting film that I wasn't prepared for how contrasty it was, and I realize a lot of that is my fault. I guess I underexposed the majority of the film. I did manage to get one, I guess, presentable shot out of the entire roll, and it would probably be this one, which was funny enough, was the very first one that I took. Meanwhile, the rest of them came back from the lab like this. Quite interesting difference there. And the weird thing is that I was rating it at ASA 100. So I was already technically overexposing it by a full stop, and still got the TIFFs back from the lab like this. Now, this is a very good lab, very reputable lab here in Los Angeles. It's just one of those things, you know, I didn't realize how crunchy it was going to be. But then I started digging around online. People were saying that the film is still so new that a lot of the labs don't have the software in their scanners. And then I went on the Harman website and they even have kind of directions. So this is kind of a new thing. But I think that if I was to shoot another roll of it, I would continue to rate it at 100. Hell, I would probably honestly even rate it at 50 ASA, and maybe still tell the lab to push it like half a stop, maybe. And I guess maybe just coming from the world of cinematography for the past 7 or 8 years, I guess I live in the realm of underexposure, you know, because digital sensors react to overexposure in the opposite manner how film reacts to it. So because of that, you know, I think that's why I tend to kind of underexpose. I also know this about myself, so that's why I always rate all of my film a stop slower. And I get great results from Kodak Portra 400, for instance, and I even get excellent results from CineStill 800T, which I do plan on doing a video on CineStill because I'm super stoked on that film. Upon reading that, what I found on the internet about what people were saying about the labs not having the proper equipment and software and stuff, I thought, hey, I'll give a go at scanning it myself with the FX30. Now, we all know the FX30 has a pretty good 6K sensor in there, and I used my Leica R 60mm macro lens. And I know a lot of people will tell you, hey, you shouldn't scan your negatives with vintage macro lenses, but my 60mm Leica R is really good. It's been CLA'd by a lights technician. So anyway, this is the scan that I did versus how the TIFF came back from the lab. So it's a big difference. Now I understand that, you know, I took a lot of the contrast out of it because I was trying to save that underexposure. So you would probably have to massage it a little more, push and pull, obviously. It could use a little bit more of that vibrance. It lost that kind of Phoenix vibrant punch, the color boost that Phoenix tends to have. But at least I got back some of that shadow detail. However, I don't know if it would be worth it to keep scanning the whole thing. Here's another one I did. So this is my scan. This is the TIFF that came back from the lab. Here I thought, because of how good the golden hour light is, it would be great, but to film out here, and then I just always forget how insanely loud Los Angeles is, the reality of it, you know. It'll be good to go on the road for our year-long journey in the RV. So anyways, and then this is what I did in Lightroom to, you know, fix, I guess, AKA fix the TIFF that came back from the lab. So these are 3 different examples here, right? My scan, the TIFF scan from the lab, and then my adjustments made in Lightroom from the TIFF scan from the lab. I didn't feel like it was worth it to rescan the entire roll myself, because again, I do kind of chaotic, messy street photos. I wasn't that bummed out about it, except I may go back and rescan this one. Like, this was the one that I was most disappointed that I lost, mainly because I had to run out into the road to get that shot. And then, yeah, I just didn't quite have enough exposure in there in the window to see the women's faces. So I was kind of bummed out about that. So I may just rescan that one and just see how it goes. By the way, I was using I believe it's called Digital Negative Pro. It's free your first 24 scans. And so that's kind of rad because if you pay for it up front, it's like $99. So I think it's really cool that they offer the free version for your first 24, because like me, at first I was all gung-ho to drop the hundo, but then after doing it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to scan the whole thing, right? Because it is my fault. I underexposed the roll on accident just because I wasn't used to the film. Even with Portra, it's a very small number, like maybe like 4 on the whole roll come out like this. Meanwhile, the rest of the roll from Kodak Portra 400 looks like this. And I know some people were asking me, like, why are they shooting on 400 ASA when I live in LA, but I already knew that I was going to be a little underexposing because I tend to, shoot at a deep stop at a fairly fast shutter. So I need that extra stop. I'm already always overexposing all of my film in camera by at least one stop. So I just thought that would be, maybe a helpful tip to any of you that haven't shot on the Harman Phoenix 200 film yet, rated at 50. I don't know, unless you're just really doing portraits and you're really good about metering every single shot, but I would definitely meter for the shadows, the deepest, darkest shadows of the frame every single time, if you have that much time. But if you're just like me and you're out there doing wild, chaotic street, I think that you should definitely just rate it at 50 and you'll have much better results. And also, I think it's, for those of you that don't know, it turns out that the Harman Phoenix 200 is the same company that makes all the Ilford black and white film. So the Phoenix is now like their color line. I'm sure I'm not telling you something that you don't already know, but yeah, so I just thought that'd be interesting. And yeah, the setup is the M6 with the Leica 35mm Summicron version 4. So that is, the Irwin Putz called it the Bokeh Champion. This lens is amazing. That's Glendale, folks. So pleasant, so pleasant. The Bokeh Champion, love this lens. It has not left the M6 since I've had it. I just kind of think it's the perfect combo. Look how slim and tiny that is, even with the hood. And there's a UV filter on it. Really nice size, really nice combo. I just like it. And I think because of the year that I spent shooting on the Sony RX1, I think that's, my brain just got used to the 35mm focal length. So I just kind of started leaning on the 35s. Just made a little bit more sense to me versus the 28. However, I do plan on doing a review of the 28 Ultron f1.9 LTM version 1 lens. I've got a lot of nice photos on that, but none on the M6, unfortunately. So sorry for my film lovers. That 28 Ultron is all on the M10. So look forward to that. Anyways, if you're interested and you don't know by now what I was talking about at Going on the Road, that is the new documentary channel that we're going to be working on, and it's called, well, we've already been working on it since January, at Local Calls Photo. So we're over there on Instagram, we're definitely there on YouTube. I'll have all the links down below, but I think we're gonna wait until we have the first 3 episodes in the can before we start dropping those, just so we're not constantly playing catch up while we're on the road. And I've also been shooting a little bit of Super 8. So the episodes are gonna be gnarly. Looking forward to that. I hope you all are as well. Be sure to subscribe to both the channels if you can. If you're into it, check us out over there on Instagram. And I hope you learned a little something about the Harman Phoenix 200. Probably something that you already knew, but maybe not too. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think next time we won't even be here anymore. But maybe not. That's not true. Who knows where we'll be. I don't have to be out of here till I'm trying to leave here on the 26th of April. So that's only a week and 1 day away. So the countdown is on. I'm just watching this bee and see if it's gonna land on my head. Nope, he's out of here. There are so many bees out here right now. Damn. It just flew in the vent. Okay, well, it's a good thing we're moving. What was I saying now?